So we're going to go back to the Eurasia Economic Forum. We're going to listen to the president of Kazakhstan again. And then pay attention. You've got Eddie Haskell and Lumpy smiling, handshaking, and everybody's wondering what they're talking about. What is going on in that private conversation between Lukashenko and Putin? Tonight, I've got the answer for it. And that answer comes directly from Lukashenko. And it also answers the question about the nuclear weapons in Belarus. So here, a couple of videos translated. Let's go back and review Eurasia Economic Forum, president of Kazakhstan here. We have in the Eurasian Economic Union a union state that's developed. That is a unique president. It's a phenomenon that we've never seen, the creation of a state. The formula, 2 countries, 1 state. This has been created now in the world political history. They have a single political, legal, military, economic, monetary, cultural, humanitarian space, with a single union government, with a single union parliament. Well, I'm sorry, but even the nuclear weapons are 1 for 2 now. That is why there's another level of integration represented by Kazakhstan and Armenia. And we have to reckon with this reality. How will we work in these conditions? It's a conceptual question I think we need included in this economic forum to discuss this problem. So that's where it began a couple of days ago at the Eurasia Economic Forum. We saw the handshaking, all of these things. So what's actually happening there? What were Eddie Haskell and Lumpy up to? Well, I'm going to show you now and answer the new question. Here we go. Here is Lukashenko being interviewed, and I have the translation for you. Yesterday, everyone paid attention to the way that you and Vladimir Putin shook hands after talking about nuclear weapons. Well, I've already talked to your colleague from another channel about that. That was when he had informed me that he had signed a document on regard to our actions about the deployment of nuclear weapons in Belarus. It was about a specific document. So this has already been decided? Yes, the decision is made. We had to prepare storage sites and do other things. We've done all that, so nuclear warheads can be relocated to Belarus. Has it already happened? Oh, yeah. In Belarus? Well, maybe. I'll come and take a look. So there you have it. I knew something was up with that handshake, and they're laughing there, and Putin gloating, and now you have Lukashenko just spilling his guts. Yeah, we had to prepare things, and they've been prepared. Well, are they there? He instantly said, yeah. You mean in Belarus? Well, maybe we'll have to take a look. If you heard the translation there, he said, I've already spoken to your colleague. Well, I've got that video also. Here's that one. Yesterday, when the Kazakh president Tokayev was talking about the integration of Russia and Belarus is so close that even nuclear weapons are shared, many people noticed that you and the Russian president were smiling at each other. And so, can you talk about it? What can you tell? Sure, I'll tell you about it. When it was about nuclear weapons. You know, honestly, it was difficult to hear because of the acoustics in the room, but Vladimir Putin told me that the decision has been taken to deploy nuclear tactical weapons in Belarus. He told me about it. I thanked him, shook his hand, and that's what it's all about. Folks, they're talking about moving nukes around like you and I would share tacos. I mean, it was like the guy's giving a speech, and Putin and Lukashenko, just want you to know there, President Lukashenko, I signed the document today. Nukes are good to go for Belarus, and it's just like you'd give him an apple pie. He's happy and, oh, good. You know, I saw the comment here, Mark McLaren, Sky News here in the UK called Russia putting nukes into Belarus as a silent invasion of Belarus. I would agree, but look at Lukashenko's response. He's welcoming it. Just, yeah, bring them on in. We're going backwards, folks. You're 100% Skaghead. He acts like he has a say, not just a lapdog. He does have a say, but no matter what he says, Putin's getting what he wants. I want to remind you guys here tonight that there are a lot of good Belarusian people. A lot of really good Belarusian people that do not want anything to do with this. In fact, I would venture to say that a majority of Belarusian people do not want this. They have no say. I remind you, Lukashenko has been in power the longest of any leader in Eastern Europe. The longest. He's a dictator completely. And I know it may look like he's a goofy old grandpa. Do not let that surprise you or fake you out there. Now, after that Eurasian summit, Putin's talking about the resources of Russia. So here you have it. Putin talking about Russian resources. Well, for the future, the truth is everybody has a future, but they're different. And that's the most important question. And I'm sure Russia has a good future. Firstly, because we know what we want, and we know the means to achieve our goals. Secondly, we have enormous resources. First and foremost, human resources. Yes, we have a lot to work on, and despite the discussions in the field of education, schools and higher education, we have a sustainable education system that's greater than the Russian citizens have had since the time of the Soviet Union, the desire for knowledge and the authority of knowledge as such. This is very important. Thank God it will be preserved. Yeah, he's thanking God there. It's going to be preserved. We have great resources, lots of people, human resources. We'll just use them and kill them. And we have other resources. We're strong, education. And I will tell you this, and sanctions, sorry. We've discussed that from the beginning. Unless the entire world sanctions Russia, it's meaningless. If China's not sanctioning, it's meaningless. Meaningless. Other nations, but I can also tell you, do not think that Russia does not have natural resources. Probably. And of course, they're the largest in area. One of, if not the wealthiest nation with resources in the ground. And remember that the territory that they have invaded in Ukraine, I remind you of that right here. All of this red over here. Let me go to this one so I can move it over. 78% of 78% of Ukrainian natural resources inside the ground. The agriculture's over here. The mining, the underground resources, the salt, all these things are located in the occupied zones. They know what they're doing. Let's see here now. Captain Taco, my buddy, where is Zaluzhny? In Kyiv. I'm going to show you in just a moment. Belarus is officially no longer in control of itself. No matter what the puppet says, started with Russian army taking over in Soku and then the Russian nukes as the cherry on top. Yes. I would even venture to say that Belarus was no longer in control of itself on February the 24th, 2022, when Russia invaded and used some Belarusian territory. And of course, as the war has progressed, they've used it more and more. Yeah, Putsky is thanking God, or is he thanking his God? Well, Rick, I'll answer your question. And brother, I know you're educated. Yes, Putin's evil, full of the devil, no question. However, in their warped mind, and I'm just telling you guys, in their warped mind, they believe, and I'm talking about this regime at the Kremlin, empowered by Kirill, they believe that they are on a mission from God. They believe they are on a mission from God. And I know it's a live program, so we can discuss it. I know people will say, you can't say that. Well, you can say that. You can. They absolutely believe in their mind that they are messengers of God. No different than those members of Islamic extremism. It's evil, but they believe they're on a mission from God. Just like you. You go about your life, you believe that you have a higher purpose. Most do. There's maybe some in here that don't, but you believe you're on a mission from God. I'm just telling you, you may not want to believe it, disagree, and that's okay, but I'm telling you, it's reality. It's a holy war. In fact, Malcolm Beals, Putin don't believe in a God. Oh, skeghead, you need to meet me in Moscow. Oh, it would shock you, bud. Malcolm Beals, Holy War. You lead me right into this. Here you go for the Holy War. They hate us, these Ukrainians, don't they? They make everything up. They make everything up about us. They were Russian people, but the past has been rewritten. That is why this enemy must be destroyed, because he will come here and instill the same madness in our children, and we will be on the threshold of destruction too. There you have it. That is Orthodox priest communicating to Russian soldiers who were going into the battle, blessing them, telling them they're doing right, and we can't allow the Ukrainian perversion to come to our land and destroy us. Go kill Ukrainians. It's nuts. How about one more translation here? We're talking a lot tonight about nukes in Belarus. How about what Lavrov, foreign minister, saying about directly World War III? Washington's primary role, is this a complete failure of the instinct of self-preservation, this escalation? Well, Washington thinks it is preserving itself because of the Atlantic Ocean, but they're delusional about that. So if they're trying to bring the world to this place of World War III, they're doing it not themselves, but by working through their satellites against the Federation. And they think they can get away with anything. There you have it. That's their view. Okay. Matt S. Dude, it's Steven Seagal. You showing some knowledge right there, friend. Of course, Steven Seagal, the famous Hollywood actor. I used to watch his movies growing up in the 80s. Now, of course, a Putinite and spreading the gospel of Russia. He said the priest looked like Seagal. That's actually really good. I'm going to play that again. He does look like Seagal. They hate us, these Ukrainians, don't they? They make everything up. They make everything up about us. They were Russian people. But the past has been rewritten. That is why this enemy must be destroyed. Because he will come here and instill the same madness in our children, and we will be on the threshold of destruction too. Looks like Seagal. You know what? Pay attention to this. Mark McLaren, of course, over there in Europe. Spanner in the works. He's using some of that Queen's English, I guess, on us there. Flare up Serbia and Kosovo region. That is correct. 2 fat dudes in a van. Yeah, they're eating good. They're eating good there. Oh my. All right. Now, how about this? Lots of translation tonight. How about some respect for the Ukrainian army? Coming from where? The nut jobs, as we call them at the Kremlin, the propagandists. Check this out. First, let me tell you, Ukraine is not going to become a NATO member. And not because it's not rearmed. To be quite honest, it's heavily armed. It's full of American and European weapons, and it's probably the strong of all European partners right now. So let's just say Ukraine, she has potential. Well, of course, it's pumped full of weapons. Well, listen, if you stock up on weapons like that, but you're unable to use them, what do you mean you can't use them? If they give us a year's worth of trouble like now, Ukraine now has a really powerful army. It is battered, but even in this condition, it's stronger than any country of the European Union. Of course, I'm not comparing it with us now. There's nothing similar in terms of mobilization, so on. Stop it. I don't want to argue about this now. But if not so, Sasha, then why are we having such problems with Ukraine? Because we haven't started fighting yet. Because of their army? No. We have to be honest. An army without aviation, without missiles, they have nothing. Why are they strong? Well, they're becoming like Britain, kind of all packed up. Wait, that's not true either. In fact, the more they have supplied, it's slowing down agreements now because they have nowhere to put anything else. So you see a couple of things there, and 2 things are accurate. Ukraine becoming very militarized. It's the exact opposite of what Putin wanted to do. Remember, when the war started, we're there to denazify and to demilitarize. So he's not accomplished any of that. What we have learned is the Nazis are in the Kremlin, and instead of demilitarizing Ukraine, he has militarized Ukraine. And some of those there now, the nut jobs, are understanding it and saying, hey, they're strong. Now, they can't touch us. How are they doing this? They don't have missiles and they don't have airplanes, but they're standing toe-to-toe with us. Well, we haven't started fighting yet. Yeah, right. You're fighting. You're fighting. You're just getting whooped, and you're showing the reality of your army and the poor condition that it is in. That's what the fact is. With that said, they still are loaded with supplies. They can shoot S-300s until Jesus comes. They have resources. They have relationships. And they have a mad dictator who, as this goes on further and he gets older and he gets in a more desperate position, I still don't believe nuclear will ever happen in this war, but the more we go further, you definitely can't take it off the table, tactically speaking. So that's where we're at there. Yeah, Serbia and NATO. Yes, they're rolling to the borders. That's coming across the tickers tonight. It's exactly what Putin would want, by the way. Exactly what Putin would want. Now, Captain Taco, where's Zaluzhny? So Last couple of things for tonight. Lots of rumors flying around that Russia hit Zaluzhny. They were putting it all over the media that they had killed him, and they showed pictures of him laying in the ground, dead, and da 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 da. He's not. None of that's true. Where is Zaluzhny? He's right here in Kyiv. He was in a media meeting yesterday. He met with Zelensky yesterday, and today put out a little video, and I'm going to let it play, and then I'll translate it for you. I didn't want to voice it over. I want you to hear their voices. It's just short. Zaluzhny alive and well.
Головнокомандувач Збройних сил України Валерій Залужний.
Дякую всім. Разом переможемо.
Обов'язково. Слава Україні.
Героям слава.
He said, the guy on the right said, "This is our great commander standing here alive, Zaluzhny." Zaluzhny then says, "Just want to thank you guys for everything." Then the kid says, "Glory to Ukraine." Zaluzhny says, "Glory to the heroes." So Zaluzhny alive and well. Now, so last thing I'm going to give you tonight, and that's just, you have to see these things to believe them. That's all that's to it. You remember early in the war when we were, and even a lot of Americans, even still, they've drank the Kool-Aid and they believe this stuff. They believe Zelensky's evil, and they believe that there are biolabs still in Ukraine. You say, no, people don't believe that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That story kind of went away. Well, now the story going through Russia, and remember, all this stuff gets blasted on Russian state TV and the media. Everybody sees this. Is now Ukraine is harvesting the organs of wounded soldiers and selling them on the black market. I'm going to repeat that. Now, forget the biolabs. Ukraine is now harvesting the organs of wounded soldiers, killed soldiers, and putting them on the black market to raise money. They put out this fake video. This is Russian made. They're trying to speak Ukrainian. They're trying to do everything. The accents are all wrong. This has been blown away. But what I'm going to show you is really on Russian state TV, and people will believe this hook, line, and sinker. It's craziness. Here you go. You'll see the yellow armband, supposedly the Ukrainian soldier. He goes in the little operating room, and the Ukrainian doctors harvesting the organs. I don't translate it. I just want you to see it. And then the doctor screams, get out, you have to leave. We're working.
У вас тут скіф?
Блядь,
скіф де?
Вийди нахуй, блядь.
Скіф де? Скіф де, я
Ти,
питаю?
блядь, пішов.
Нормально не міг
yellow band.
сказати?
Ти звідси нахуй.
Криса йобана.
You can't make this stuff up. That's what they're showing. Hey, it's in our country as well. Let's see here. I've got it. Where is it at? I want to show you one more thing. I've got it here somewhere. Then I'll check the updates right here. Let me show you this. This one's crazy too. I'll translate this one over top of it. This happened in the United States. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this. A Russian supporter writes on the garage. In fact, let me cut to it. Pause. So the garage says Bakhmut nash, meaning Bakhmut is ours. And then below that, it said Spasiba Wagner. And it's being taken down, or yeah. And then you see on the right the Z and the V, or it was being put up. So Bakhmut nash Spasiba Wagner, Z and V. U.S. These guys come by, they're screaming at her. Do you know What is happening? Why are you supporting that? She's a Russian lady in the U.S. They're Ukrainians. Here it is. I'll play it now. The problem is, honestly, then I'll come back here for a second. You're going to see that they're screaming at her. Do you know what's happening? The genocide, da 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 da. And they argue, but then they show where they come back and vandalize her house. So it's not good anyway, either way. But it's just showing you the division of this world. Here it is. Do you know the policy of what's happening there? Have you seen all those people dead? Of course, then they vandalize it, flatten the tires, blue and yellow. Regardless, it's just showing the division. That's right here in the United States. You're probably right, Matt. Russians are doing that with the DPR probably. And I'll tell y'all guys something else that was big on the news today in Russia. Please hear me. This was big on the news today in Russia. And it was, you're not even going to believe this, it was about America. You say, well, what is it? So remember the biolabs, and now we're harvesting organs. Okay. But Russia, and you're going to hear more about this. I'm going to go ahead and predict it now on May the 26th, almost 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to predict you're going to hear more about this. Russia went off the rails today because the United States gave some approval to Elon Musk for neural testing with humans. I did look. It is true. I don't understand all of that. It's not what I do, but he was given some approval for some kind of testing. Russia is running with that like crazy. You say, well, what are they running with that for? They try to validate their story of how the West is evil, how they don't care about people. Now they've given Elon Musk the right to do guinea pig testing on human beings. America is so evil. They're allowing guinea pig testing on humans, and Elon Musk is doing it. I'm just sharing with you guys the truth about a main story on Russian news today. Nuts.